Okay, how's everybody doing this evening? It's been a while since I made a video, but I had a few things I wanted to wait for. I wanted to see how voice was starting to progress. We had a few challenge updates I wanted to wait to announce to before I actually made a video about it too. So I got a lot of stuff to cover tonight. I hope I remember it all. So the first thing I want to talk about is I want to talk a little bit about the challenge application. Because we are making some challenge application changes, and I will make a link to the post that we had on Steemit for the challenge updates. I think it's version 5 that we're on right now, and we also made the post on the voice. Although the voice is very limited and who can use it right now, only in the United States, and it's only in beta. But the things we're doing with challenge right now is that we are making it so you can make a challenge account with an email. You don't have to you can use your telephone or you can use the email, but we're going to upgrade with email. What we're finding is there's a lot of places in the world where phone services aren't as good as they are in other parts of the world. Also, we're noticing with Amazon, we run on Amazon Web Services for some of the application. It seems to be a little bit unresponsive to certain carriers around the world. So we are going to make it accessible through email. You will be able to set up a challenge account with an email, and not only a telephone, but with email and telephone. So we're making that available. The second thing we're going to be able to do is we're going to make challenges so that you can actually set the perimeter of the challenge by having a mouse, having some way of navigating that challenge by expanding or decreasing it, by dragging it out or pulling it in. Much like, I don't know if people we have something in our house called the ring, and you can set the ring, the actual arc or radius of how far out you want the ring to notify you if somebody's coming to your door. This is going to be the same way with the challenge. So we're going to be able to set that very easily, so you can set the distances on the challenge. And of course, we're getting rid of the time and the date of that, so it's basically challenge meant or not meant. We're not going to use the time or date anymore because it makes things a little harder for people to use. The third thing we're going to do with challenge is we're going to make it a little bit funner to play. So when you do a challenge, you're going to get a chance to spin a wheel, and when you spin a wheel, you're going to get a number of prizes. You're going to earn tokens. You're going to EOS tokens, challenge tokens, other tokens. So there's a number of ways that you're going to be able to get immediate gratification by creating and making challenges, by having a spinning wheel to be able to get some reward for that. These are all coming up very, very soon. And then the final and last thing we're doing is we're going to make it so there's other tokens on the application, and also we're going to peg it to a number of other tokens. So it'll be pegged with Steemit, and some of the other tokens out there too are going to be pegged along with challenge. So those are the upgrades with challenge. And now that we've done that, I want to talk a little bit about voice, because we have been playing around a little bit with voice, and we are trying to figure it out in the way it's working, the actual tokenomics. What am I saying? Not tokenomics, the economics, the tokenomics of the way this works, also the game theory of the way it works. And I'll give you a really quick example, or really quick explanation of how voice works. Only in the United States, like I said a little bit earlier, when you sign up for a voice, you get 3,000 voice tokens. There are no exchanges currently carrying the voice tokens. There's no market for voice. It's in beta. So you get 3,000 tokens, but they're not tokens you can turn into BTC. They're not tokens you turn to EOS, and not tokens you can turn to fiat. They're basically tokens that they just give you that for the time being have no value. Now, I think they're going to start being listed on exchanges, but at this time, they're not listed on exchanges. So you get 3,000 tokens to start, basically using a voice. Once somebody makes a post on voice, you can go in with your 3,000 tokens, and you can make a post, and you can add your tokens to that post. If nobody else adds to that after you added, and you have the top amount of tokens, like let's say somebody made a post, it has 3,000 tokens. You put your 3,000 in, now there's 6,000 tokens in. Your tokens are locked until somebody upgrades that or puts tokens to upgrade that post, or to advance that post, or to put more tokens towards that post. So your tokens are locked up until they do that. Okay, but if somebody comes in and does upgrade and add tokens to it, you get a percentage of that upgrade. So that's how you increase the amount of tokens, voice tokens you receive every time you upgrade or you put tokens towards a post. That's kind of roughly how it works. So this is a very interesting idea, and we're still trying to completely understand it. We know Dan Larimer in this area is very, very ingenious and comes up with some really good stuff. We're thinking about doing this, advancing challenges in the same kind of way that he's doing this with voice. But this is a way for people to be able to earn tokens, and if you're advancing, or let's say you're upgrading, or you're giving tokens for the posts that are being posted, and as they increase in value and the amount of tokens grows, you can earn a lot of tokens. I don't know the percentage. We're still trying to figure out the percentage of the spread that you earn when somebody upgrades a post. So when somebody upgrades a post and it goes from maybe 50 to 100, you get a percentage of that spread, and I don't know what the percentage is right now. We're trying to figure that out. We haven't quite got that figured out, but we're trying to figure out how it is working. But it's working very, very, very well. I think there's getting to be more and more users, and there's a very interesting game going on here, an interesting, value-added way of giving people a way of monetizing their content. A very interesting value-added way of doing it, and I know it's going to work very well. So I'm pretty excited about it. And I think once this is totally understood and confirmed, there's going to be a lot of people using the voice platform because it's very ingenious, as I said. The other thing I want to talk about tonight, which is a very, very good thing to have happen, and I know my friend Rahman from Investing with the Difference was one of the main people to really push this idea, was the burning of the tokens when EOS originally launched. 5% of the tokens were inflation. 5% is inflation, which was a very high inflation rate. Today, it's 1%, and the 1% goes to the actual block producer. So it's a very efficient way to run a blockchain right now. Way more efficient than the proof of work protocols that are being used, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and those others. In fact, one of the biggest problems with Bitcoin is because so many of the miners are constantly selling in order to maintain mining operations, to buy the electricity to keep their operations going. There's always a downward pressure on the market, Bitcoin market, because of these. Because the miners are able to sell the tokens. They need to sell the tokens in order to continue to progress the blockchain. This isn't so with EOS. It's a much more efficient system because the block producers are already pre-chosen, and now so many of the block producers, pre-chosen by the community, I should say, not by arbitrary people or random selection. It's by people voting, and so many of these block producers now are giving back a lot of the rewards. They are giving back a lot of the rewards in order to maintain their position. EOS Nation has done that. So you're getting a tremendous value right now with the EOS blockchain as far as how much it's costing in order to maintain this blockchain, and how much activity is taking place on this blockchain, and how inexpensive it's being run right now, by the fact that you have block producers that are only getting 1% of the inflation, and that they're giving back most of the rewards in order to maintain their positions as block producers, and the people that own the EOS token are the ones that are benefiting from this. So there's so much going on here that is really very, very, very good. I mean, it's it's amazing to me that more people haven't. Well, maybe it is a little bit advanced for some people, but it's really amazing to me that people aren't starting to really understand what's going on here, how EOS is progressing, and EOS is really kind of solved a lot of these problems plaguing blockchain and plaguing the technology behind blockchain, and how to actually get a blockchain to run efficiently and how to make it work well. And EOS is solving that, and now have a platform like Voice that allows you to monetize, make money from creating content and being able to upvote and getting a percentage of that back in Voice tokens. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about. And like I say, I never pre-script my videos. I always just talk about this after I basically, cover it myself, think about it, try to put it in my mind of how it works. And then I go back and I try to figure it out and understand it and then talk about it. I don't sit down and make a pre-script, because I always thought that was boring, to just to have a already written out. I know for a lot of people it probably is much easier to follow, but I'm giving you the basic information that is what it is that I've been able to get over a long period of time of studying and looking at this stuff. But I'm giving it to you in such a way that I'm not giving it to you, in a very wrote out way. I'm giving it to you from, basically expressing myself in a way, like my videos usually are, just on the street with people around me, cars driving by, and things going on in the background. But this is, like I say, this is a lot of technical stuff that has been done with a lot of mindful thinking, and it's very impressive, very, 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 very impressive. I think right now it's not being appreciated for what's really going on here. There's some mighty stuff going on here, some mighty stuff. So hopefully more people will start using Voice. We'll get it out so people around the world, because as we talk to people around the world, they're asking us about what we think about Voice, because being in some other country, they're not able to use it. So hopefully that'll change very, very soon, and we'll get some more stuff up. And if you haven't signed up for Voice, by all means, get signed up for Voice, start using it, start playing around with it, because it's a lot of fun. It's got a great user interface. It's pretty intuitive, pretty easy to use, and I think it's going to be very, very, very successful. And I saw some green numbers today. Price has kind of been slumping here lately, as we've seen here recently, but I think price is going to start getting a lot better, especially with Voice starting to pick up some steam and things starting to happen. That's another thing I could cover too. I could cover Tron buying Steam, which is an interesting thing too. And basically Tron, through buying Steam, was basically able to not only buy Steam, but to basically take Steam over basically with everything. So very interesting. That's another whole other video that I could go into. So a lot of very interesting things going on, but there'll be videos in the future for that. I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much.